This is The Toss-Up, where we take a look at some of the topics facing the world of college sports and give a little bit of some of the history behind them. We're not trying to change your mind, we just want to dive deeper into the topics that keep you tuned into the teams you love. Since the formation of the Bowl Championship Series, belonging to a Power 5 conference has been a priority for many programs across the college football landscape. As we discussed on last week's show, making it to a national championship is the ultimate goal for many teams in the Football Bowl subdivision, even though it excludes more than half of the teams from qualifying for the championship game. Let's take a look back to the Bowl Championship Series when the Big East was one of the 5 power conferences in football. It lost prominence when it failed to negotiate a competitive broadcast contract. Now, Boston College, Miami, Virginia Tech, they had already left the Big East for the Atlantic Coast Conference earlier. So later on, the Big East was then abandoned by Syracuse, Pittsburgh, and Louisville, who also left to join the Atlantic Coast Conference because of the higher broadcast contract and the equal distribution in revenue. Now, broadcast rights have been the impetus for conference changes during most of the realignments, so many conferences could meet the minimum number of schools required to host a conference championship game. Hosting a championship means more exposure, more sponsors, and more money for the conference and its member schools. The minimum used to be 12 teams. And under the new college football playoff, since only 4 teams are eligible to play in the national playoff, I do apologize, this means that a team without a championship game could be at a disadvantage, such as the Big 12, by not being on TV during the conference championship weekend. Now, this did not hurt the Big 12. Their champion in 2015, Oklahoma, made it into the playoff. But the conference has fallen in prominence now that it only has 10 schools. Now, here's why some of those schools left. See, before the 2010 season, revenue distribution was proportionate to the amount of time a school was on television. Now, this meant Texas, Oklahoma, they would get more money. So in order to find an equal share of revenue, Colorado joined the Pac-12, Nebraska went to the Big 10, Missouri and Texas A&M headed to the Southeastern Conference. And those are just some of a few of the alignments based on revenue that have occurred in the Power 5 conferences over the past couple of seasons.